trying to get hot on TikTok.
Exactly.
Exactly. Times definitely changed.
It has. So now let's fast forward back into this movie, man. So what was the movie called again and what you produced? I mean,
It's called The Last Disciple.
Last Disciple. How did you come up with this,
So you remember Pastor Elliott, because I used to drag y'all to the empowerment session. I think you went a couple times.
I went a few times.
So again, like spirituality was always like, even when I was doing all this stuff, I still was like connected and, going to church and just reading and stuff like that or whatever. But I started to feel like I was drifting away from
actual,
you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I tried to tap back in and I started going there. And then it's kind of like a weird synergy merge of where I was at.
Right.
As far as
and to where I'm going.
Yeah, but even that was just I guess the two influences, because we was out still doing the videos and stuff like that. I ain't just stopped doing them, but I also was tapping more into the spiritual side. So that's kind of and we would have these deep conversations about what was happening in real life, and then try to cross-examine it with the Bible. Okay, to say this, I was like, well, how do you do? And just the questions in the conversation we had, I was like, I want to show this visually.
Right. I remember the conversation me and you had. I said, if we had this and we was in a modern state, I said, man, that'd be dope. Yeah. And like I said, we all was around, you know what I'm saying, brainstorming it, but that was I think that was a great idea. And I still think right now that still is relatively untapped idea, because I would believe if somebody was to make a movie about Revelations, I think it'd probably be one of the biggest blockbusters around. It still has to be done.
I think too, it's got to be. I would want it to be done by somebody, because film is
James Cameron.
But film is such a powerful medium.
Of course.
That
it tells
messages and different perspectives and stuff. I would want it to be with the right person to do it. That ain't got to be me, but I'm just saying somebody who is not influenced by. Because the thing about doing film and doing content and stuff like that and staying true to yourself, it's a struggle, because you will run into people saying, well, this don't sell, or people want to see this, or you got to put some of this in there if people gonna watch it. And I think that movie actually proved that wrong, because it did the exact opposite. It showed how things really were, but it wasn't like it was trying to be attention grabbing. It wasn't nothing that's trying to be controversial, he got this Bible and he had sex on it, or just something crazy, you know what I'm saying? It was just so people want to see it, but it's just the industry, when you get into around people who looking at numbers and looking at bottom lines, and they say, with this type of content, they can invest $100,000, $200,000 to a movie and get it back, but it's got to be doing X, Y, Z. It's got to have these type of themes in it, because people the controversy it's just crazy. So I don't know if I would even want that to be the case. It would have to be somebody who had nothing to lose, or had a spiritual, spiritual vibe outside of the industry, because the industry is
a beast. It's a beast.
It's not godly.
Not at all.
That's not the topic at hand when you go in there is read the verse.
I'm hey, can you make some money for it?
Exactly. That's it.
You can see
that's the conversation was had. But I mean, it's a business. You know what I'm saying? I can't really get mad at it. It's just, okay, well, how do I function in that and still maintain who I am?
Exactly.
And don't lose myself and be true to what I feel like God might be telling me or revealing to me to display on the gifts I know He gave me.
Right.
And not just saying I can do whatever I want to do with this gift or whatever, because I know I can lose an eye.
Exactly.
Or lose two, and then what you gonna do?
Exactly.
So I don't want to get. So I don't want to get to that point where it's just you got to show me. I try to stay, but I still try to do stuff. Do follow my creative.
Yeah, your creative vibes where it takes you to these good positive energy things. Yeah. But still, going back to the film. So as we're leading up to that film, and you got all the ideas and everything, how is production? How did you go about casting? I mean, this is your first film now.
I didn't think about it's never a big deal. I was just who am I around at the time?
Okay, so you kind of guerrilla casting it.
Yeah, and then when we was writing the script, I had some of y'all in mind.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Because again, we was there having a conversations and stuff. So you know how Pat Haley used to be like super down to earth and real.
Yeah.
So like when we started writing, me, Jeremy, and David had sit down. And I was like, okay, because I wrote like The Last Disciples. Actually, I wrote that back in 2010. The initial script.
Right.
And I remember putting out like but it wasn't a version that we ended up shooting.
Right.
We wrote it.
This is like your rough draft copy.
It was like around the time I was doing Veils of Color and stuff. And I remember I had made a post on the internet, and the one person that responded was, guess who it was?
Who was that?
Dollar.
Really? Man.
And I stayed in contact with him until we shot The Last Disciples. And I was like, because it was still, the title of it was called The Last Disciples. I remember meeting Dollar in Books A Million. And I was like, yeah, this is a movie I'm trying to shoot. He was like, that's what's up. He was like, yeah, I'm with it. But it was like 4 or 5 years into, because I started doing the music video.
Right.
So I had the concept of Last Disciples. Like, I knew what I wanted to do, but the actual
putting it together.
Yeah,
that does take quite some time, because movies are not easily made. It takes time.
Yeah. Him and then Thomas Nance too.
I remember Thomas.
I had told Thomas about it. He was supposed to be in the movie, but something happened. I think he moved or something. I guess somehow something happened. But they was like the first ones to kind of know about
this movie. And that's a great thing.
Before I even started doing music videos and stuff like that. But
yeah. So now that movie had much success on the internet.
I mean,
it went viral.
Eventually,
but it did go viral. You know what I'm saying? How does that feel to know that you have that under your belt of your resume? How does this other directors?
I still don't even look at it like that. I'm just glad that people got what we was trying to do. Because my thing with it was kind of come with something spiritual with the way we did it, which was kind of like in your face, like the bold, like super ultra. Me and my brothers always say like the ultra realistic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like not making it watered down or having it like almost like documentary style, like the camera rolling, and that's just how we want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you don't even feel like you're watching the movie.
Exactly.
It was like, damn, like I know these people.
Exactly.
Like that's me.
Right.
So
I said that to myself, man. That's me, right?
Too. Like I think when you're watching it, like you just see certain people and characters in situations. Like damn, I've been in it. It's like deja vu. Like it trips like certain stuff because you like I felt like that before. I've seen it, but that's a special project.
It was, and that was just one of many more to come. Yeah. You know, because you had a movie premiere about it. You know, like
it was big for the city.
It was. Yeah, I mean. The things that came behind that, I mean, you was in the Huntsville paper, you was on the news, I mean, you were a little bit everywhere.
I really didn't care, but the thing I really cared about was that people was getting something from the movie and they were getting touched. And I remember this one girl on Facebook had said, she's like, thank you for making this movie because now I'm talking to my grandma again. Right. She was like, this is the first time that we sit down and actually watch something together and we actually talking.
Right, so like opened up conversation.
Stuff like that is like, okay, this is why I'm not getting $1 million and I'm going to continue to spend half a year. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's great.
That's kind of like what keep me the purpose and intent of doing it. You know,
keep you grounded.
Yeah. Or just wanting to keep telling stories like that.
Yeah. And
where is you gonna see them? You ain't.
You don't see that. You do not see that in Hollywood because you really don't.
You're not gonna see it because they looking at how to provide the controversy, the sex, the drugs, the guns. It's like they got a formula.
Of course.
Like, your script gotta have this for us.
Before we even sign off or put any funding behind it.
Crazy.
And you gotta drop somebody before it's
they still might not release it.
Exactly.
You might have done shot all that and they waiting to release it and then they just don't release it.
Yeah, they'll put you on the shelf.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is, brother. It is. I mean, it's a dirty game. Yeah, but as that came along and that passed, and what other what was your next move after that? Because I know you started traveling. I think you had went out to Quebec, if I'm not
I started kind of like doing more like projects. Of course, that definitely got more eyes of people on my work and stuff like that. I started traveling and doing like a lot more work and stuff.
So you started leaving the country.
A little bit, like the film festivals. We started going like to Montreal. I think the Montreal Film Festival. They screen. They all running together now. Last Disciples or Buffalo Soldier is one of them. I know we went to L.A.
Right? Yeah.
You go to L.A. with us to the film festival?
I don't think so, no. I didn't go to the L.A. Film Festival. I wish I would have. I'd have jumped on that.
I think think Chevy done went. I think Chevy went. Yeah, Chevy went. A couple people went. But yeah, that was cool. It was cool.
I like that. That's pretty dope, man. It's pretty dope.
It was okay. I mean, all that stuff is like really. I'll be looking at like, who can I meet here that's gonna help me?
Of course.
Like I mean, like everybody like to take a picture.
All right, that's one of my other questions. Like, how do you tell somebody when we're in the age of people just need to be seen at this point, and to the point they're making a fool of themselves?
Yeah, and hurting themselves.
Right.
I don't know. I guess like every generation got its thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
like with us, it was violence.
Yeah, it was violence. But we came up in the violence.
That was just what we was aware of. That was like the thing of people saying, "Well, be careful who you're around." The situation is, but now it's like image or it's self, whatever this is. Like
I agree.
It's dangerous.
I agree because at one point in time now, this has nothing to do with film. This has something to do with just you being before our social media. You had to really be who you said you was back in my era.
That's true, and that's the opposite.
Right.
You got to be who people don't think you is.
Exactly, and I kind of like.
And it's okay.
Yeah,
it's like people encourage you to do that.
I'm like, I can't do that. So it's like it kind of.
That's why you need them. That's why people love you. Because you're gonna be the same when you got a camera on you. Or
not, man. But still, it's just.
That's a personality thing, though. But the generation coming up now, like I saw when we get ready to cast for the show we getting ready to do, like it's really affecting young people's self-esteem. Where in the real world,
I can see that
on social media is fine, but to actually, it was a big deal. Like we got models and stuff. It was a big deal trying to find young girls. Well, I say young, I mean like in their 20s, mid 20s. You know what I'm saying? Early to mid 20s, late 20s, or whatever. Well, really more so 25 and under.
Okay.
Like confidence is a big thing.
Really?
Like it's huge because people. I guess because you grow up, like we saw before what the world was before and what the world is after.
And that's
but
the good
they
part
only know after.
Right.
And you gotta think like. That's what they know.
Because we had it, we seen the beginning of the internet.
Right. And know the reality of before, but them, like, they growing up in a world of fabrication. Like, in a world that you see on YouTube, on TikTok, on Facebook,
And they think that's a reality.
It is a reality. Yeah. That's the crazy part. It's a reality.
It's a metaverse now.
That's the crazy part. Well, it ain't even metaverse. It's just that's what they perceive as real. You know what I mean? Like, with us, we can tell the difference.
Right.
They can't. A lot of them can't. Like, it's almost indistinguishable. Like,
and that's what you peep when you cast or you have an audition.
Which is like being like seeing the difference, just being open to see like with having like the academy, the kids come like how they view things.
Right.
Like even like college, it's like that's kind of like the new generation coming up is like totally immersed in.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
And it's like. All the kids, like, we used to wear hoodies and stuff like that, but it's really like you can tell, like, it's like a confidence thing. Like, they have hoodies and everybody's in their own world. Yeah. It's just like, not shelter, it's just in your own world. But I think it's a reflection of technology. Like, so with your phone, you got your own world. Whereas we were connected, like, we
had to connect.
But they just.
Do you think that's by design?
I don't think it's by design. I think it's just life. I think it's just
life evolving or devolving.
I don't think it's bad. It could be devolving, but everything has got good and bad.
Yeah, it does.
You know, like you can't look at it like oh, it's the end of the world. Like the world gonna keep going after.
You know, we're going afterwards. So you know.
I don't know what it's gonna be, but like, and for them it'll be normal. Just like for us, 19th century living is.